Yeah, let's coast down up here. How are y'all doing tonight? Although I just decided it's not night. Alright. I am Sarah from Game Raven Review, and this is Jenny, also from Game Raven Review. We are here interviewing some wonderful voice actors from some wonderful little known games. Very, very little known. Game Raven Review, I'm going to plug us first. We typically focus on small little indie games. So, this is kind of a big deal because this is not a small indie game. So, if you don't know who is with us, we have Anne Yatco. Yatco. So, Anne is a Filipino American voice actor and a former forensic scientist, who is most well known as the English voice of Raiden Shogun in Genshin Impact. And we have Mr. Cory Yee.
I usually sound like an actor, so it makes sense.
He's a Chinese American voice actor who is most well known for Goro.
It's Goro.
Goro in Genshin Impact. And I actually, give it up. I mentioned that we were going to be interviewing you, and apparently a bunch of my friends are all Goro fangirls. So the Discord chat was going crazy. So you got fans all over the place. Yeah. All right. So, what else are you guys doing? Yeah, what else do you do that's not Genshin?
I do some sick handicrafts, real good at knitting. I can find a really good rosé. Love a dry rosé. Yeah. I'm cultured. You might know me as the English voice of Nobara Kugisaki in Jujutsu Kaisen. What up, season 2? Let's go! I'm also Marinette's mom, Sabine, in Miraculous Ladybug, Bambietta and Meninas in Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War, and Izzy in the Digimon reboot, among other things.
I'm in Ghostwire Tokyo as Akito, the main playable character in that game.
Oh, I'm his sister!
Yeah, and we're siblings in that. And then I'm in like Smite and Destiny, many different skins in that. And
Wait, who are you in Smite?
I am.
I didn't do my research. I'm so sorry.
Yuan, is that his name? I always get him mixed up with the other guy. Some other Chinese name. But Yuan, and I'm like. Malworm skin is one of my favorites that I am, and then I'm like Crimson something King Arthur.
I'm the Crimson Skin.
Wait, which one? Oh, you're like the person that I worship, basically. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Nice. As we should.
Yes. Yeah, I'm like 7 different things in Smite, so I don't even know at this point.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then like Record of Ragnarok, I'm Hermes. I'm that douche. And yeah, some other stuff. I don't know.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want you to tell me a little bit about Genshin first, because I feel like that's your big ticket. As much as I want to ask about all of your cool Smite characters, because I'm a little biased. But tell me first, so as somebody who I haven't played too much Genshin, I didn't get past like unlocking the first few free people, unholy of me. Tell me about your characters.
Okay.
Who do you play? What do you do?
So I play a fine gal.
Or voice, I guess. You might play somebody different.
That's true.
related.
Yeah.
Related.
So I'm the English voice of Raiden Shogun. She's a 3-in-1. Kind of like the Holy Trinity. So you've got Raiden Shogun, who is the face. She is the ruler of Inazuma, the Electro Archon. But really, inside of her, in the planet of Euthymia, is Raiden A, the real girl, who created the puppet Raiden Shogun. Sorry, this is spoilers. And then also as a little fun side extra, I got to play her dead sister Makoto. Yeah, and a bunch of NPCs. Yeah, a lot of us play a lot of NPCs.
We call it Anazuma because it's like her, like everywhere you turn. And it's great too. I really love your other character, Chisato, right? Yeah, she's great. And then so I'm Goro mainly. He's the dog boy from Inazuma. We're actually part of the resistance against the Raiden Shogun, but we've made up a little bit. And then I'm also he's Archer. He hangs out with Kokumiya from Watatsumi Island, and so that's him. And then I'm also a bunch of characters in Mondstadt, like Draff and Huffman. Yeah, I had cat ears first. Now I've traded him for dog ears. It's animal thing. I don't know why. And then I'm also the like Electro Abyss Lector, who's like a big douche. So yeah, you fight him in like high level content.
Nice.
Hi.
Yeah. So, are these your favorite characters? What?
Like out of everything, voice acting wise, or just?
In Genshin? Yeah, in Genshin. Are they?
No, I like Yelan. She's way better. She's hot
He was
and
so
she does
ready with
damage,
that.
so like she's way cool.
Besides Raiden Shogun, like my favorite character is Zhong Li.
Ooh.
Daddy.
Of course. Good choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just like people who are tall and hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
We're like
Same.
the rest of the Genshin audience.
Cool. Cool. What is your favorite thing about your characters, though?
Well, my favorite thing about my character is that I got to play 3 characters, frankly. Well, also, she's just a girl boss in general, and I feel like that should be my brand. So, yeah.
Be or just is?
I don't want to be the one to say it, so.
It is your brand. I think my guy, I didn't get to know him as much for the initial content that was released, but later on, we really dove more into his story and like found out who he was like more deeply. And I really was thankful because like he's kind of young and like doesn't always know the best thing, but he tries his best, and that's like kind of how I feel. If maybe 10 years ago, I felt like that more. Now I'm old, but that's like the core of his character is like very me, and also his favorite food in the game that he cooks as a specialty is tonkatsu ramen, and that's like my favorite food. So I was like, oh my god, there's this like connection. So yeah.
Did you guys have any like say in that, or is that just a
No,
fun
they just that just happened to be what it was. There's a lot of weird coincidences with a lot of the Genshin, because like that doesn't speak to my character or his, but that just happens to be what it is. So it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, like my character can't cook. You literally cannot use her to cook in the game, and I think that is one of the funnest, like little like in jokes like ever. No, I do cook, and I can cook. But I think it's
Wasn't
really
that
funny
one of the
that
things
like
that
the
she
most
does?
powerful woman in the world cannot cook, or does not cook. Chooses not to. I mean, she's got people to do it for her.
She's so powerful. She doesn't have to cook. That's the important part. Okay. So this is a question from my my friends. I'm gonna bring you those two first, so that way you can ask the other questions that you're not confused on. I was asked if you guys take special care to pull the banners for your characters.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, I see.
yeah,
I see 6
both of us maxed out what we can get from the banners for each of our characters, and triple crowned, I think, which is like the most you can upgrade them.
Yeah.
So I spent mine's a 4-star character. I'm not as cool as she is, but so hers is more expensive though.
So much more expensive. Oh my god.
But yes, we spend money.
Do you guys like get any of that? Like
No.
perks? Oh.
But thankfully we have people who do donate to stream sometimes.
Okay.
We do it on Twitch. Yeah.
What's your Twitch handles?
Anja Yatco.
Cory Yee. Just pretty much our names are.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Yes.
And then, so this one was asked with a specific intention. I want to see if it comes up. So when you're thinking of bringing personality to your characters, it is very difficult to do, I feel like, in voice, in a sense, versus like, traditional acting. So how do you do that? And have you ever ad-libbed anything for your characters? Or brought a little something extra?
A little something. Okay, so yes, because we're voice acting, you remove the visuals, so you have to be able to do everything like with your voice. But that just means you have to be like extra dialed in to like who is the character, what is their attitude about the thing, like what are they trying to achieve. Like you just have to have a clearer vision in your mind of what that is because you don't have a visual to go off of as well.
Yeah.
And like that just goes back into the acting training, you know, to be able to then put it in your voice so that everybody can hear that, you know. Because like with Raiden Shogun, I voice like A and the puppet, but I have to give them two different vibes so that you know who's talking when they're talking, right?
Yeah.
I didn't make like one like super low voice and one super high voiced. I kind of kept them similar in like that like vocal quality, but it was more about their attitudes that shift so that you know which is which.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, have I ever ad-libbed? Raiden Shogun doesn't really get to ad-lib per se, but there's always space for us to like kind of put like air, you know what I mean? Like those little, the little sighs, the little stutters, all those little things that kind of like really like enrich a performance, and those are the things I was able to like really put into Raiden Shogun to kind of give her more humanity. Yeah.
That was a very good answer. Thank you. Agreed. And like, I think that as far as the vocal quality, you know, like especially like looking at the character, like my thing is like I wanted to make him seem a little smaller because his physicality is part of his character too, where he wants to be a bigger, stronger guy, and he's not.
Yeah.
So like, kind of just shrinking down a little bit, like in my voice, just that is in that direction, let alone whatever else. And then of course, like to add on to what Anne was saying about the acting thing, also the physical space that the character is in really dictates a lot of, and that's hard because with the video games, we rarely know for sure.
Yeah.
And our director is like, all right, we're gonna make this choice and go with it. Or maybe we'll make a choice and they'll be like, yeah, that's great. So like, you know, whether I have to shout to someone in outside across a field or having an intimate conversation, of course, affects the acting performance. So that's a big part of it. As far as the improv is concerned, there's two things that I specifically like from an actual, like a line addition. And one of them is when my character finds a chest. The original line used to be like, careful, it could be a trap. But it's never a trap. There's never any point in the game where it could be a trap. So it's like, well, then wouldn't it be funny if he's like kind of investigating and it isn't? So, and sadly they cut out a part, but I was like, I wanted to make it like, careful, it could be a trap, and then like sniffing. That didn't get kept. But it's like, oh, never mind. You know, so like there's that.
Yeah.
So we did get to add that, and they kept that.
Cute.
And the other one is there's a part where in the script it said, like, I'm basically my character's getting pet by the traveler. His ears are getting pet. And so it's an English special, but at the end of the line it says, mm-mm. I was like, well, how else do you interpret that other than dog whimpering sounds? So yes, I whimpered for the game, and then people proceeded to wonder how much I got paid extra for that. And the answer is nothing.
That was
My own
literally-
satisfaction is all I got.
I told my friends that I was interviewing you, and like the first thing in all caps, they were like, "You need to ask him about the whimpering." And I was like, I can't just come up into a panel and be like, "Hello, so Cory, how did you decide to make your character whimper?"
Look, the bottom line is like, but people are like, oh, how much did they pay him? Like, Hoyo must be crazy. They so lucky. And it's like, that was my idea. I'm
all
about
your
the dog
pride.
whimper.
And then, you know, if I could like piggyback off that, like, you know, those are the fun things like that, you know, they come to you, right? And you guys gotta throw it out there, and maybe it gets used and maybe it doesn't. But like people are always like, how do you make your voice do that? I'm like, I'm just playing around. We're literally just playing around.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into, so do you have a favorite line or interaction that your characters remember doing? And maybe when you recorded it, you were like, oh, this is going to be good. Or when you played and saw it. Yeah.
So whenever people ask me like, what's my favorite line, I always say, who? Because I think that is, like, the economics of that is beautiful because it is one word, and with that one word, she totally eviscerates another character by refusing to acknowledge who he is. Ito. But really, my secret favorite is from the first story quest when Raiden Shogun is like learning about what the world looks like after having been in seclusion for a really long time, and she realizes we like go into town and another character, Yae, has opened up a publishing company. And so they have all these light novels, so it's very much like Japanese light novels,
Yeah.
right? And Raiden Shogun is like, oh, I read books? Okay, great, let me read this. And she reads the title, and it's super long and complicated, and her line literally is, it's so long. And I laughed so hard. Because, I mean, out of context. But B, like, it's just so funny. Like, of course, yes, long, like, light novel titles are stupidly long, and thank you for calling it out.
I love it.
The ones that I mentioned are definitely my favorites, but one of my other lines from a different character is one of my favorites personally. It's from Draft, and he says, "Please, help me promote my meat." And it's like, okay, I got to say this and get paid for it, so that's the best thing ever.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So, unless there's anything specifically Genshin that you guys want to add in this moment, are you cool if we move on to some general voice acting stuff? Sure.
Wow, neat.
Cool. All right. So again, we started out with saying that we are an indie company. So I would love to know, what is the smallest project you remember working on?
I mean, the first thing that I ever did before I was really professionally doing it was like it's like a super low budget, like tap mobile game.
Okay.
It's like a rhythm game.
Yeah.
It was called something with Vikings, I don't know.
A Viking rhythm
Yeah,
game?
it was cool.
That's very niche.
But that was like years ago. But as far as like more recent stuff, I got to do a voice on, I think it's called Afterlife. It's a cool indie game.
Yes.
Or maybe it's not indie, but it's like all
But I've
hand
heard
drawn.
of it,
All
yeah.
hand drawn. They did like a Kickstarter to bring it to the more
Yeah.
English, like Western audience, I think. So that was really cool. I mean, they're all great, honestly.
Yeah.
The first video game I did, oh god, I mean that's like over a decade ago. I was like some like random characters in a game called Dungeon Fighter Online. It was from Nexon.
I love Dungeon
Yeah,
Fighter.
yeah. I for like my very first voiceover jobs were actually like a bunch of Nexon games. So I did Dungeon Fighter Online. I did Vindictus. So if you ever played Vindictus, like the very beginning, you're like with this girl and you're like trying to, I don't know, save some creature that ends up dying. I'm the girl. And then what's the other one? Not Maple Story. Dragon Nest. That was the other one I did with them. And there was maybe one more, but I can't remember. But yeah, so those were my first those were my first video game jobs and also my first voiceover jobs. Yay.
What has been your favorite to work with? Aside from you can't say Genshin. You can't say Genshin. Besides that, what has been your favorite voice acting gig?
It's under NDA still. That is the
Something soon.
Bea
true
warned
honest
me of
answer.
this because I was telling her, I was like, am I allowed to ask things? She's like, you might get that things are under NDA.
Well, he answers. Let me think of something that's not under NDA that I.
To be determined.
I'm very excited now.
Yeah, I think for me, Ghostwire is just because I got to be the lead character and like really like play like through that entire story and like work with that was with Chris Zimmerman Salter, who's like a like legendary like director, and like that was just a really cool experience. And like I didn't know really much about what was going on. I was like, oh, that's like Chris Zimmerman. Okay. And so, but like that was a really cool experience to like just be really on the forefront of something. Because Genshin like is amazing, but like we share it with so many other people that there's no particular limelight necessarily. But like that was different. So.
That was all you, Cory. Okay, so not counting the one that's still under NDA for probably several months.
There's so many.
No.
Jeez.
I'm just deciding, like, do I talk about another gacha game or do I talk about another gacha game? Okay. It's so stupid, but like, I got hired to do Nikke, Goddess of Victory, and one of my characters, Mihara, like her whole, like, the whole, like, part of her whole shtick is that, like, she's a masochist, and she's very hypersexualized in her dialogue, right? And like, I'm doing it, I'm doing the performance, I'm like, I'm gonna ham it up, like, that's the assignment. And I have never, and this is the first time it's ever happened to me, I made my director blush.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was a remote session, but like, my director was like, I had no idea this was what was the dialogue. I'm like, you're the director, you should have known this. But he's like, I'm so sorry, like, we don't really know each other, like, oh gosh. And I was like, it's okay, I know the assignment, we good. It's okay. I would tell you if I didn't want to say it. Let me say it.
So, if you could go back in time to when you were first starting out, is there any like advice you would give to yourself or even someone else starting out?
I think specifically for me, like not necessarily for anyone else, but just like be patient and be persistent, because that's really, you know, even though like I haven't been in voiceover for super long professionally, but I've always kind of been around. So like it took a lot of time for me personally to be ready to do that. Like if I tried, even if I had the same skills 10 years ago, I don't think that me as a person would have been ready, you know, if that makes sense. Like I had to grow, I had to be in my 30s to do it. Otherwise, like 20s me wasn't mentally in the right space.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I think for me, it would have been, see, I don't know if it would have changed too much for me, but I think one thing I could have done was to put myself out there more. I think I like got into a place where like I had my hands in like a couple of like places that was giving me work, you know, like once every several months. But you know that's I had a day job, so I was fine with that. But I think if I had put myself out there more and maybe like grew my network a little faster, that might have accelerated it a little bit. But at the end of the day, like Cory said, like it's just being patient and letting life kind of like, you know, go through you. Like you become a better actor the more you live, right? So letting that, you know, percolate in your body.
I don't know why that reminded me of like Meryl Streep. I was like, she just keeps getting better like with age.
Like
Fine
fine
wine.
wine. Yes.
Because I didn't study acting in school. You did, right? A little bit or a lot? Was it? Okay, yes. Jeez, okay. But
It's very expensive.
but I went to like film school and like, but also like I was like on the other side of things for like live action. But like all of the experiences that I had like as an adult or even as a kid, all those things still plays still a role today in all of the acting that I do, because our experiences are something that we draw from, like emotionally. Like it's not like we're playing actors as our roles, we're playing people who actually do things that actors don't do. So if all you do is study acting, like that's good and you should do that, but like you have to take from your other life experiences a lot too.
Okay. So I know you guys were literally just saying like you keeping yourself open to all opportunities, but is there anything that you look for or that you think that people should look for when you are looking to book a job? So is there anything that you go out of your way to look for, anything that you've seen that you avoid, anything that gets you really excited to be like, oh my god, I want to do this?
I would say like for anyone who's like looking to get into voice acting, you're not looking for the same things that we are.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to make that clarification, just because like yeah, absolutely it'll change, because like we have agents and like we get our auditions through agents, and we'll occasionally look for stuff outside of that or keep our eyes out, or if a friend makes a recommendation, then like that's a really big thing too, and we try to look out for roles for other people and try to suggest for them because we know they're capable. But like for actors just starting out, like you shouldn't be looking at auditions and agents and super expensive recording equipment. You should be looking for honing your acting skills, becoming the best actor you can be, and understanding that all that stuff will come in time, but you have to establish yourself as a good actor. And if you do that and kind of put yourself in spaces, then people will notice. But like you can't just like expect to get an agent on day one because you think you're so talented. Because
Yeah.
even if you are talented, you don't know anything about the industry yet. No. And you have to learn all that stuff, and that takes time.
I mean, that was really good.
It was like a really, really concise answer. That was really good. Yeah, just listen to Cory.
Actually, that's bad advice. Don't listen to Cory.
Oh my god.
And since we are Game Raven Review and we review indie games, do you have a favorite indie game? that you'd like to let us know? Recommend.
I played, was it Spirit Catcher? During the beginning of the pandemic, and it like broke me emotionally every time I played it, and I love it. I think it is a beautiful game. I have never finished it because I can't bear to say goodbye.
I am so glad somebody else is like that too. Like I joke that I cannot finish like shows or like games that I love because I'm just like that story needs to keep going. Yeah.
I usually play like pretty big AAA titles for most of my stuff, but I did play Boyfriend Dungeon with my friend Jen.
We covered Boyfriend Dungeon last year.
Because there's dialogue in it, so that's not voiced. So like I would like, all right, I gotta bring out all my husbando voices. You know.
Did you voice all the daddies in
Yes,
different voices?
yes, because my Jen voiced all the ladies, so I voiced all the daddies. So yeah, that was the idea. It's fun. I mean, I play Tears of Themis as well on stream, which is like a dating husbando game, and it's like, okay, we have to have distinct voices for each husbando, and that's like very important to me.
Were you there when we did that on our stream for the Colonel Sanders?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I did. I
was-
played a lot of some of that too.
Yeah.
Giving the Colonel, you have to give.
Oh yeah.
You gotta give the Colonel something good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That game, I'm still like addicted to KFC since. It's
really good
I
and
always
free.
liked it, but ever since then, like I keep craving it. I don't know what they.
Are
put
you
in
craving
that
the
game.
chicken or something else?
Probably both.
Or the Colonel?
It's finger licking good either way. All right, and then one more question for you guys from us before I turn it over to you guys. If you guys have any questions, get them in your brains. What are you most looking forward to this weekend? Besides this, because this is almost over. It's only halfway over actually.
Oh,
So-
fair enough.
Yes.
No, I'm just ready to like vibe. Honestly, this is like so chill, which is a nice comparison to what we usually see at conventions. So yeah, I'm just here to have fun.
The pool party.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do a little time at the table. So like, if anyone wants to come up, say hi. You don't have to buy anything. You can just hang out and do whatever. Then please, yeah, we'll just be chilling, and that's always nice meeting people from. And like, I haven't been to NorCal in ages, and it's always just passing through to like Oregon because I have family there. So I don't really come here that often. So like, it's nice to be here. So I'm very Southern Californian, so we're like pseudo rivals. I don't know. I don't think so really. I think it's cool, but like, I just don't come here much. So it's always nice to come to new areas.
Does anybody have anything they'd like to ask these lovely folks? We got another 30 minutes, so you can ask them, I don't know.
Come up to the mic.
Actually, I wanted to ask you guys what your favorite pizza topping was. You can still come up and you can wait, that's fine.
Meat.
I was actually going to say,
Just
do you
meat.
like pineapple on pizza? Yes
I
or
do
no?
like pineapple. I like.
Good. Good. Amazing. All right.
This question's for Anne. You can hear me. So,
yeah, I can hear you.
How did you prepare for the role for Nobara in Jujutsu Kaisen? And have you read the manga?
Yes, I've read the manga. I know exactly where we're going. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, and to prepare for Nobara, let's see. Like, when I got the audition, the first 3 episodes of the sub were already out, which was lucky for me because obviously she gets introduced end of 2, all of 3, right? So I was able to get a vibe for her and like watch Asami Seto's wonderful performance, and I was like, oh, I love her. She I get her, I instantly understood her vibe, and I was like, okay, I can play with this. Yeah, so it was really just kind of taking in who she read to me as in those first couple of chapters, or in the first couple of episodes, because I hadn't read the manga before, and then kind of just going off of my instincts. My instincts, at least in the first, in that first moment that we meet her, she feels very bossy know-it-all, but also kind of weird and a little wacky, and definitely feral and unhinged, right? So you mix it all together, and it's a lot of me in there, to be perfectly honest. And that's how I started with Nobara. And it just builds from there as you watch the episodes and as you see her grow as a person. So, yeah.
I'm excited to see, it go into season 3 when it comes.
Yeah.
And then for Cory, do you have what manga that you are currently reading, if it got an anime adaptation, what manga would it be and what role would you want to play?
I feel bad because that's not going to be an amazing answer. I haven't really read much recently. I kind of grew up with like zip files and Naruto, so like that was kind of it. So like I don't really read a whole. I can barely read as it is. So that's kind of it. Yeah, I know it's really difficult for voiceover. But like yeah, so unfortunately I don't really know a whole lot of what's out there right now. So really it's just anything that as much as like I think that we have some things that's like, oh, I would love this role or love this. It's really just like for me, and I think you as well, we just try to get whatever is good, whatever fits for us. So like, as much as I would, I think people should try to manifest their dreams, I'm so like laid back and go with the flow that I'm like, all right, whatever role is going to be good, that's great, man. So anything. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet anyone from our. Yeah, really, no one didn't get to meet anyone from Ghostwire other than our game director, which was cool. So I got to have because like I'm not working directly with the game director, so that was actually really cool, and he's an awesome dude. But unfortunately, I didn't get to meet anyone else. Maybe one day.
You next.
So I'm wondering for a game like Genshin where there's localization and there's multiple languages, do you work with like the other people who voice your characters in the other languages, and how do you like coordinate or distance totally your own?
No, I mean the Chinese is done first, but we don't even listen to that really unless if it's in cinematic specifically that they recorded earlier to make sure that like the timing will be the same. But other than that, we don't pull from their original, so we don't hear it. And sometimes, as far as the text localization is concerned, they'll have to go back to the Chinese and double check, like, oh, is this exactly what they meant, or was this kind of a weird translation? And so, but we don't personally ever.
Yeah, interact with like the other localization teams, let alone the Chinese.
Yeah, because it kind of all has to come out at the same time, so we're probably just all recording simultaneously. Yeah, and they're all. Yeah. But we're probably, I don't know how it works for Japanese and Korean, but we're all definitely working like at different studios that's not specifically like a Hoyo studio. So.
Yeah, so I was wondering, like, so my assumption is when your agent gets you booking, they give you like a rap sheet of like, this is kind of what the role is, like, this is what the job is. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We don't. Sometimes we'll go into a job and not even know anything, because the project will be under a code name, and then they'll be like, oh, well, we're just bringing you in for something. They won't even necessarily say, and they're like, oh, was it off of an audition I did? Was it off of like they heard our demo or something? And we don't really get that information, so. No.
So my question was then, were there any characters where you really weren't sure, like, before you really get to meet the character, like, were there any that you were kind of apprehensive about or weren't sure about, and you were like pleasantly surprised as you kind of met the character?
I mean, honestly, I had a couple question marks on Goro for a little bit, just because we didn't really get to jump into his character. Like, he's there and he's present, but we don't know him. And then I found out, okay, no, I am supposed to play this. Like, after, like, this is the right thing for me. But we just didn't get to get much of his characterization the first time you meet him. So I was like, I hope I'm the right guy. And we sometimes come across those situations for plenty of characters who are like, all right, we're just going to do the best acting that we think in the moment. and do that. And sometimes things change, and we have to make those character changes along the way. But I think that there's always occasional moments of doubt, but mostly we're just trying to be professional and just doing the best job we can with what's in front of us, because we don't always get the full context. They don't like telling us things.
Oh yeah, they want to tell us the least amount possible so that we spoil the least amount possible. Yeah, basically. I got to voice I was the English voice of a character called Six Eyes on a show called Beastars. She's like the big snake guard who comes in and she's like, Goshi, you gotta go solve the mystery, and then she just goes back up into the pipes and you never see her again. But I got cast as that character, and I was able to find video of that, a part of that first scene where she comes out, and I heard, and I looked up who voiced it. It was Kujira, and I heard Kujira's performance, and I was like, I can't do that. That's the time I have been the most scared to start a session, because I accidentally knew too much about it walking in, and then psyched myself out about it. And I think they did shift my pitch down, I think a tone. But I think it sounds cool because it sounds extra creepy that way. And so but I think in general I did okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anybody else like to come up to the mic?
Yeah.
Throughout your career, does the agent find you, or do you find an agent? What comes first?
Chicken or the egg? I mean, everybody's story of how they get their agent is different. Mine was a direct referral after 8 years of doing a cold email once every couple of years, or doing an agent workshop and not getting any bites. Then I worked on a game where the localization director really liked me, and she was like, who are you repping with? And I was like, nobody. And she's like, let me send out 2 emails. And one of those emails was to my agents at Fox, and now I'm with them. So that's one way. Some people do cold emails, and sometimes it works. Sometimes you get to know an agent out in the wild, and then it works.
I was doing workshops, and I had done a workshop. Basically, I'd been doing a lot, and then I did one with a really well-known director named Colette Sunderman, and she has done she's did a Marvel thing and Adventure Time when it wasn't Keith Farley, and then but she's done a bajillion different things. She's great, and she was like, I think you got something special. Let me know when you have stuff. And I didn't have jack squat at the time. So I was like, I got to record something. So I recorded a demo fairly quickly, because I was like, I think I can do it, but I was taking my time. Because really the first time I had kind of pushed for trying to do voiceover, I kind of rushed things a little bit, and I wasn't ready. And then a couple of years later, I came back full and was like, I'm going to study this whole year. And so after I recorded that, the people at Voice Actors Network who facilitated the thing, they got me in touch with her, and I was able to get that to her, and she was like, okay, let me send some emails. And that next week I had 6 agent meetings set up, because apparently she never makes referrals ever. Wow. Which is crazy. So I felt very, thankful for that, and then I got to kind of choose a little bit, because they were like, all right, well, we don't know who you are or what your deal is, but we're ready to sign you. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm still with my current agent, and yeah, it's great. Yes. Awesome.
Okay, y'all hear me? I can't hear myself. Anyway, Cory, there's a question for you. My friend is a girl fan. She just DM'd me while I was listening to the panel, and then she told me, ask Cory to do the dog whimper. And I'm like, okay.
Dog whimper.
Please.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly. Basically, it's I mean, do you want me just to do a dog whimper, or
do
more of the
whole
line?
voice line, please.
Try to
Do the whole voice line,
I
please.
can find more of the line. I have to find.
And I'm just gonna DM my friend back, hey, I did it for you. You happy?
See that?
That's what I always do when I need to find a right show.
Okay, I'll try to find it. Hold on. You can just give me a second. If anyone else wants to ask a question while I find this.
Go ahead. So.
Let me figure out. So, I know like Cory, he had to do like a bunch of additional voices in Genshin Impact before he finally got Laurel. Like, did you know it would be a major role? And I think I saw one of your live streams. You said you just got Raiden, but you didn't know. Yeah. How does it turn out when they like give you the role and then you find out later if you're big or going to be a major character?
So like, okay, so I'll answer. So when they cast me, like, I got an email and they're like, congratulations, you were cast in Genshin Impact. You are playing the role of Raiden Shogun. And I was like, well, that wasn't on any of the sides because they were all different names, code names, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know who that is. So let me Google it and see if maybe it's been name checked in the game before. And then like an article is like, the first thing is like Ball, Electro Archon. And I was like, oh. Okay, that's a big deal. Because I was familiar with the game. I'd played up to like Adventure rank 25 before. And I was like, okay, well, I guess this is going to be a thing, but I don't know how big it'll be. And it turned out it was really big. So then I was like, I guess I should start playing the game again.
Did you play before you started?
I did. I played for like a month when it first came out. And I was like, this is fun. It's cool. I'm not going to spend any money on this. I'm going to stop playing. And then after I booked it, I was like, well, I guess I'll start playing, and I guess I'll start spending money.
Oh my god.
I did find it, yes. Wait, what was there a part of the question that I was supposed to ask?
You did a lot of additional voices.
Oh.
Like, were you waiting for your chance?
I mean, like, yes and no. I mean, because, like, as much as, like, you know, it's like, oh, like, Genshin's, like, a big deal. And by that point, we kind of knew that it was, like, pretty cool. Like, I was like, well, whatever auditions they want to send me, I'm always happy to do that, of course. And I would love to be a playable character. But, like, you can't put too many hopes on anything because there's a lot of disappointment in this industry. Yeah. So, like, you just can't do that. Otherwise, you'll go crazy. So, okay, I did find the thing.
Get your phones.
Okay.
Get your phones out.
Dude, you don't have to.
No, I promised somebody on this. Wait,
Oh, God.
I need to switch it up. Wait.
Oh, God. Let's see if I can even do it.
God damn it.
I'm gonna try to do
I mean, what was cool about this was slightly improv as well, so I guess there's that.
It'd be funny if you, like,
Yeah, I would do that. I would absolutely do that. Okay, let's see. There will be no rubbing of my ears, and that's final. If they think they can smile their way into persuading me otherwise, well, they've got another thing. Hey, what are you doing? Not you too. Come on now, I thought.
Also, Anne, a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
I go to your Twitch streams very often.
Yes.
Without Enkanomiya, what is that?
What?
What is Enkanomiya?
Oh, Enkanomiya. So there, on my Twitch streams, I have a like a channel point redemption called Go to Enkanomiya, and it's because the first time you go to Enkanomiya in the game, you like glide down, right? This like portal, and what does that portal look like? A toilet. So for 100,000 channel points, chat can make me go to the bathroom for a couple of minutes. So once every couple of months, someone has saved up enough to force me to leave the room, and I will go to the bathroom. I might just like stand in the bathroom for a couple minutes, and then let chat have its way for a while with Chair-kun, you know.
Oh yeah, chair stream.
Do they have to be flushed with channel points to do that? Okay.
Also, one more question. What's your favorite meme in Genshin Impact regarding your character?
My favorite meme is with Goro is like, all right, I'm going out, and Yai's like, not like that, you're not. And then it's Miss Hina as the next thing. It's like, yeah, slay. Yeah.
I think mine is the little cartoon with Raiden being yelled at by Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, because she can't cook. Oh, that or the one where she's facing off against the chicken who's holding the catch. I think that's really funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, come on up.
Hi, so for some context, I work at the San Jose Public Library. So, do you think you guys could each do a line in character that would
do that. However, like that really puts us in a pickle because we really like we're honestly like overstepping our bounds maybe even a little bit by doing character lines from the game, and then to like go further and do like to use the character voice quote unquote to do a line that's not in the game. We want to keep our jobs.
I can say it as Cory.
Yeah, and as Anne. Love to say that.
We can't. Yeah, we just can't do it in character.
Yeah.
Can you just give a shout out to the library?
Oh, heck yeah.
Is it like
San Jose Public Library?
Yes. And can I record?
Yeah, we're happy to do that. We want to like introduce ourselves and then be like, we just want to say we love the San Jose Public Library.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Ann Yatco.
I'm Cory Yee.
And we love the San Jose Public Library.
Do it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love your table. Okay, I'll stop by. And read.
Reading is fundamental.
Read gooder than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, just so you guys know too, I believe you guys are scheduled for a meet and greet after this. So if you have any other little personal stuff like that too.
Yeah, we should
Yes,
be at one
that
of,
we don't get
one of
to.
those tables over there.
Yeah.
There will be like a formal.
Yeah, there's like a formal
more,
tomorrow,
like,
and there's
scheduled one.
gonna be a little powwow. This guy over there with a man bun, they're gonna be over by him.
Okay.
Cool. So I have a couple of questions related to demos.
Okay.
So when you're sending them out, should you do any treatment to them at all, or should it just be raw?
Oh.
Oddly enough, the very first thing that I have on my demo is like a recording, like in a video game sounding like that, and I think that's actually a mistake. Don't do what I did, because it does sound cool, but like you also want to make sure that whoever the agent or person listening is making sure that they know what you sound like, not necessarily what the effects are or all that. And obviously you do want to make it sound like you are in something that's real, but at the same time, like, you need to make sure it's not too obscured, so then, yeah, definitely, like, I would avoid putting a lot of excessive filters other than basic cleaning on your voice itself. You could definitely throw into situations like where there's music and sound effects, but you want to make sure that they hear you, because that's, not what a computer can make you sound like.
Right. I think that was more where I was going to, because I did a voiceover on like a video game music track kind of thing, and I wasn't sure if it should be like with the music to provide the context of.
Yeah, you definitely, the goal of the demo is normally it's to just pull clips from something real. So like if I actually took time to remake my demo, which I should, then like I would just pull clips from Genshin Impact and like Smite and whatever else I want to put in there for a minute and a half, whatever. But if you're just making it and you don't have that stuff, that's totally okay. But you should make it seem like it's something real.
Okay.
That's the general idea.
You want it to sound like you are bookable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine you're
Yeah.
Okay. And then the second thing is, should it be like, I don't know, just as many voices and textures and characters that you can do, or is it more like how you should do like an email where it's short and sweet and like do like 3 to 5?
I think it's quality over quantity.
It used to be more about quantity.
Yeah, but
Because that you're showing off.
you're showing off and you're showing off your range. But if say like, look, people listen to demos, they probably only listen to the first 15 to 30 seconds of it. So you
Okay.
want to front load it with like your 2 best things, right?
You'll listen to the rest if you're good.
Exactly. So like make those really good so that they keep listening for the rest of the minute 15 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you both.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I did have kind of 2 more questions that are related though. Given that this is music and games, and given that the soundtrack of Genshin Impact is like phenomenal, I guess. Like, do you guys have a favorite like area or track of the soundtrack that you like? And
It's so hard to choose. I mean, I'm partial to Inazuma because I've listened to it so much, but it also like it slaps.
My most memorable like gameplay moment in Genshin was when because I played since launch, and like basically I was like, Mondstadt's cool, yeah, there's knights and stuff, and then once I took a step into Biue, and it's like the music changed, and I started hearing the new battle music, I was like, oh my god, this is so special. Because I didn't know, like you could tell that there was another region, but I didn't know what that was gonna be or if it was just gonna be more of the same, and it's completely different. And like that was so cool to like experience them showing their like cultural identity, you know, as Chinese developers, like really taking good care of that. And like, so that's why the music it always holds a special place in my heart, because it's like that was a moment of like, oh, I know this is special.
And kind of going off that, maybe is there a different game or like different series with like soundtracks that really resonate with you outside of Genshin?
Skyrim, World of Warcraft, any Blizzard game ever. There's the amazing soundtracks, but it's always Skyrim for me. I always put like some of the really calm tracks just on a list and just like relax to that all the time. Like I pretty much only listen to soundtracks, whether it's from movies or games, but it's like a lot of games, so that's like what I listen to. I'm like, people will be like, oh, like, haven't you heard this person's new album? Like, I don't even know if that's a person or not. So that's me.
There's a game called Arknights, and like whenever new characters come out, they have like these really cool tracks, like that like kind of feature the character, and like those sound like it's so good. They're all so good. Yeah, no, I think
the Raiden video.
Oh yeah, no, seriously though, like going back to, I was trying to go away from Genshin. Dang it, I was trying to go away from. No, when the Raiden Shogun demo trailer came out, and like, oh, just that music is so epic. And the boss music. The boss music is all, it's all really good. So good.
I'm actually very angry they don't win more awards.
Yeah.
Because
Oyo Mix is so good.
I think that Genshin doesn't get. Like, look, if you don't want to give them awards for other stuff, that's fine. But the music needs to always like, dude, like, what are you doing?
Big shout out to like game composers. They are amazing. I apologize if anybody caught me rolling my eyes when you were talking about WoW and Blizzard, because I am just like the #1 Final Fantasy like 14 stan.
Okay, fair.
There's a whole running gag about it that it's my favorite indie game.
I've never considered Final Fantasy 14 to be a negative thing to me, because
That's fair.
They're succeeding where World of Warcraft has failed more recently.
That is fair.
But I love WoW just because it's
That is fair. Yeah, correct. Yes.
I'm a humor nerd.
But yeah, no, it is beautiful. Oh. Yeah. Yes.
I know earlier you said you don't get your hopes up about anything, but is there like a role or like any anime or game that you would like to play one day? Like not even typecasting coming into play, like something you would want to do, like maybe like a wish list.
I mean, there's so many things that have been done, you know, that like if I had a chance at that point, I would have loved to, but I would never want to take any roles from old stuff. But as far as new stuff, I don't know jack squat.
Fair enough. There is a new show. Like I do read the manga for Undead Unluck, and I think it is adorable.
Yeah.
And so like if I can get on that show, that'd be really fun. I just think it's a really fun little manga. But also, I believe it's getting an adaptation, which had Atelier. I just think the art is freaking beautiful. Yeah, if you can get me on that. Someone call me.
But Cory, it could also be like long-running, like you know, Dragon Ball has so many movies, and people are still getting into.
Oh yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, if I could get on a Pokemon, yeah.
Anything Pokemon. Bulbasaur is still always my favorite. He's #1 for a reason. But yeah, anything Pokemon would be great. If I would also be happy with Yu-Gi-Oh! In some capacity.
Yeah.
Because like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I grew up with all that, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the stuff that I was like really doing impressions of first. That started getting me like to love voiceover in many ways. So like it's always really close to my heart.
Bouncing off of that, Pokemon, would you want to be a trainer, or would you want to voice a Pokemon?
I think I'd be better as a trainer than a Pokemon. Like, because they've kind of changed the style of like, they don't just like, Bulbasaur. Like, they don't do that as much anymore, right? So.
Shame. I'll be a trainer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we have like 3 more minutes. So if anybody else has any final thoughts?
Last call.
Last call?
Oh, we will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
What are the worst lines you've each had to record?
This one right now.
Whatever it was, I definitely put it out of my mind. I don't like
Yeah.
it. It's for-
We have to actually do a lot of rewriting for a lot of stuff because like it won't make sense or like it was a hasty translation
Yeah.
or adaptation. So like that, it's those don't make it to the final mix. But there's been a lot of things that was like that didn't make any sense at all. Like so, there's that. I don't know, the worst lines. I think I end up liking. I
Anything cringy even?
cringy my whole career.
Yes.
But I am free. No, I mean, yeah, I think most of the stuff that we end up with is we're usually trying to be happy with.
Yeah. I don't know. Live with no regrets. No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets. No regrets. All right. Anybody else for a last call?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
All right.
Were there any lines you had where you just went, I'm not going to say that?
There was something recently. It's a thing I still technically can't talk about. Damn it. Oh, but it was the first time. It was the first time that when I walked into the studio, someone sat me down and was like, "Hey, there's maybe like 2 lines here that might be a little objectionable to you. I just want you to take a look at them and see what you think. Like, just full transparency. We will retranslate it if you need to." And I was like, "Thank you for asking me before we walk into the thing. Like, that's really nice." Usually, I mean, like, most places are really cool. Like, if you're in the middle of it, you're like, "I don't really like how that sounds. Like, maybe we can work it out." But one of them, I was like, "Oh, that's fine." And the other one, I was like, it maybe can have like a weird, bad connotation if you take it really out of context. Maybe let's just find another way to say it. And they were totally cool with that. So it's really just it's a conversation, and as long as you're cool and they're cool, you can talk it out and figure out how to work your way around perhaps a questionable line.
I don't think I have.
No.
No.
Wow.
I'm not. I was gonna say I'm really good. No, never.
Dog voices live.
Pay me money and I'll say anything. No. No, I'm usually like, I just end up not getting cast for a lot of like really bad stuff. And I think there was a project that I had several months ago that was similar with like, hey, there might be some weird content. Are you okay with this? And it all ended up being okay. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
It's like they ask you because you don't know how someone might respond to something, and if it's cool with me, then it's fine.
So many of the directors that we work with are like actor directors or people who just love working with actors that always want to take care of actors. Like so many. So it ends up being a thing where they're working with us, and there's never like some studio guy who's like, make them say the dirty thing, like smoking a cigar. Like, no, that doesn't really happen. Like, we're in our own space. So like, yeah, it's usually pretty chill. I want to hear Cory swear. Why do you have that accent? Who are you?
All right. I think that was a great one to end it on. I think so too. And we are literally just at time. So,
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Give it up for Anne. Give it up for Cory. I don't want to say give it up for us, but
Give it up for.
give it up for you guys, wonderful audience.
Yes.
Thank you.
And your questions were great.
Yes, you guys have better questions than we did. So
If you have anything
wonderful
else,
job.
we'll be over there for a while, and then yeah.